The challenge the Galactic Council's ultimatum. The story opens in the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, a massive space station orbiting the neutral world of Kepler Prime. Representatives from dozens of alien species gather in their floating pods, their chittering, growling, and electronic voices filling the air with tension. Admiral Vex of the Reptilian Alliance stands at the center podium, his scaled green skin gleaming under the chamber lights. Behind him, holographic displays show Earth's solar system, marked with red warning symbols. The blue-skinned Aquarian delegate, Commander Tide, nods approvingly from her water-filled pod. "The humans have expanded too quickly," Admiral Vex declares, his forked tongue flicking between words. "In just 200 years, they have colonized 37 worlds. They ignore our borders. They take resources without permission. They must be stopped." The insectoid hive queen clicks her mandibles in agreement. "The human plague spreads across the galaxy like a disease. We have been patient too long." Earth's lone representative, Ambassador Kane, sits in the human section looking small among the towering aliens. His gray hair and weathered face show the stress of months of failed negotiations. He knows what is coming. "The Galactic Council hereby issues this final warning to the human species," Admiral Vex continues. "You have 30 standard days to withdraw from all disputed territories and submit to Council authority. If you refuse, we will demonstrate why no single species challenges the combined might of the galaxy." Ambassador Kane stands slowly. "Earth will never bow to threats. We have as much right to the stars as any of you." The chamber erupts in angry alien voices. Admiral Vex slams his clawed hand on the podium. "Then you have chosen war, human. We will send one warship to your home system. When it destroys your pathetic fleet, perhaps your survivors will learn wisdom." The other species laugh and cheer. The Reptilian Alliance alone commands thousands of warships. Their technology has conquered 100 worlds. What could one small, backwards planet possibly do against them? Back on Earth, emergency meetings fill the halls of the Global Defense Command. President Walsh paces behind his desk as military leaders crowd the room. General Brooks, the grizzled commander of Earth's fleet, studies the tactical reports with growing concern. "They're sending the Devastator," General Brooks says grimly. "It's their newest dreadnought, 5 kilometers long, armed with plasma cannons. That can crack planets. Our entire fleet combined might not be enough." President Walsh stops pacing. "What about the new ship, the one from the Black Project?" Admiral Foster, a woman with sharp eyes and iron determination, steps forward. "The Defiance is ready, sir. Captain Reed has been training with the crew for months, but it's untested in real combat." The room falls silent. Everyone knows about the secret project, humanity's desperate gamble. While the aliens had spent centuries perfecting their massive, slow-moving battleships, Earth's engineers had taken a different path. They built something smaller, faster, and powered by technology the aliens had never seen. One ship against the entire Galactic Council fleet, President Walsh says quietly. "What are our chances?" General Brooks looks out the window at the stars. "Sir, they think they know everything about human warfare from our early encounters. They've studied our old ships, our old tactics. They have no idea what we've really been building out here." Captain Reed receives his orders in the Defiance's bridge, deep within the lunar shipyards. The ship around him looks nothing like the bulky human cruisers the aliens expect. Sleek, angular, and black as space itself, the Defiance represents humanity's greatest technological achievement. His crew of 200 represents Earth's finest. Navigator Smith plots courses through hyperspace using calculations no alien has ever seen. Engineer Davis monitors the ship's revolutionary power core, a fusion of human ingenuity and captured alien technology improved beyond recognition. "Sir," Communications Officer Bell reports, "long-range sensors show the Devastator entering our outer system. ETA to Earth orbit, 14 hours. Captain Reed settles into his command chair. Around him, the bridge crew works with quiet efficiency. They know the stakes. Earth's colonies, Earth's freedom, Earth's very survival depends on what happens in the next day. "Take us out, Navigator Smith. It's time to show the galaxy what humans can really do. The Defiance glides silently from its hidden dock, its experimental engines leaving no energy signature. As it accelerates toward the outer system, the ship's advanced stealth systems render it invisible to alien sensors. Behind them, Earth prepares for the worst. But ahead, in the cold darkness between worlds, humanity's secret weapon moves to face the galaxy's ultimate challenge. The real war is about to begin. First contact. The Devastator arrives. The massive alien warship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system like a metal mountain appearing from nowhere. The Devastator stretched 5 kilometers from bow to stern, its dark hull covered in weapon ports and shield generators. Smaller escort ships flanked it like wolves following their pack leader. On the bridge of the Devastator, Admiral Vex studied the primitive human solar system with contempt, his reptilian eyes focused on the tactical displays showing Earth's pathetic defense fleet gathering near their homeworld. Dozens of small human ships, none longer than a few hundred meters, arranged themselves in desperate formations. Look how they cluster around their planet like frightened children, Admiral Vex hissed to his second-in-command, Captain Scar. They know they cannot win, yet they refuse to surrender. Captain Scar's scaled fingers danced over his control panel. Should we destroy them quickly, Admiral? End their suffering? No, Admiral Vex replied, settling back in his command throne. We will take our time. Let the galaxy watch as we crush each human ship slowly. They must see what happens to those who defy the Council. The alien fleet began its steady advance toward Earth, their massive engines pushing them forward at a leisurely pace. They had no reason to hurry. What could the humans possibly do? Deep in space, far from the alien sensors, the Defiance watched and waited. Captain Reed stood in his ship's war room, studying the holographic display of the approaching enemy fleet. His officers gathered around the table, their faces grim but determined. Look at the size of that thing, Engineer Davis whispered. Our entire ship could fit inside one of its weapon bays. Size isn't everything, Captain Reed replied calmly. They're used to fighting other alien species with similar technology. Big, slow ships trading massive energy blasts at long range. They've never faced anything like us. Navigator Smith traced patterns on the display. Sir, I've calculated 17 different approach vectors. Their sensors are focused on the main fleet near Earth. They have no idea we're out here. Communications Officer Bell looked up from her station. Captain, we're receiving transmissions from the alien ship. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. The main screen flickered to life, showing Admiral Vex's reptilian face. His yellow eyes glowed with arrogance as he spoke in heavily accented English. Humans of Earth, you have seen our mighty Devastator. Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. Surrender now, and we will allow your species to serve the Galactic Council as slaves. Resist, and we will turn your planet into cosmic dust. The transmission ended. Captain Reed's jaw tightened. Around him, his crew exchanged angry glances. Sir, Weapons Officer Cross reported, all systems are ready. The new plasma cannons are charged. The quantum torpedoes are loaded. The experimental shields are, at full power. Captain Reed nodded. What about our secret weapon? Engineer Davis smiled grimly. The jump drive is ready, Captain. We can teleport anywhere within 1,000 kilometers instantly. They won't know what hit them. Near Earth, the human defense fleet prepared for their desperate last stand. Admiral Hart, commanding from the battleship Courage, watched the alien dreadnought approach with growing dread. His ships were brave, but they were vastly outgunned. All ships maintain formation, Admiral Hart ordered over the comm. Make them pay for every meter. The first exchange of fire lit up the darkness of space. The Devastator's massive plasma cannons reached out across thousands of kilometers, striking the human ships with devastating force. 2 human cruisers exploded immediately, their shields overwhelmed by the alien weapon's power. The human fleet returned fire, their missiles, and energy beams splashing harmlessly against the alien ship's advanced shields. It was like throwing stones at a mountain. This is massacre, Admiral Hart muttered, watching another of his ships die. "Where is our backup?" His question was answered by a new voice on the communication channel. Captain Reed's calm tone cut through the chaos of battle. "Admiral Hart, this is Captain Reed of the Defiance. We're moving to engage the enemy." "Defiance?" Admiral Hart searched his tactical display. "I don't see you anywhere." Without warning, the sleek black shape of the Defiance materialized directly behind the Devastator, appearing from nowhere like a ghost made solid. The alien ship's sensors screamed warnings, but it was already too late. Captain Reed's voice echoed, across all frequencies. "Let's show them what Earth can really do." The impossible fight David meets Goliath. The bridge of the Devastator erupted in chaos as alarms blared throughout the massive ship. Admiral Vex spun around in his command throne, his reptilian eyes wide with shock as he stared at the tactical display. "Impossible," he hissed. "How did they get past our sensors? How did they appear from nowhere?" Captain Scar's claws clicked frantically over his controls. "Admiral, the human ship just materialized 300 meters off our stern. Our shields are down in that section for routine maintenance." "A human ship?" Admiral Vex laughed, but the sound was forced. "One pathetic human vessel against the might of the Devastator? Destroy it immediately." The alien dreadnought began to turn its massive bulk, trying to bring its main weapons to bear on the tiny ship that had dared to challenge it. But the Defiance was already moving. Captain Reed stood calmly on his bridge as space exploded around them. "Weapons Officer Cross, target their shield generators. Navigator Smith, execute evasive pattern Delta. Engineer Davis, give me everything the engines have." The Yas. Defiance danced through space like a deadly shadow. Where the massive Devastator took long minutes to change course, the human ship twisted and turned in seconds. The aliens' huge plasma cannons fired again and again, but they might as well have been trying to swat a fly with a sledgehammer. "Their ship is too small and too fast," Captain Scar reported, his voice rising in panic. "Our targeting computers cannot lock onto something that agile." Admiral Vex snarled. "Then use the point defense systems. Saturate the area with laser fire." Thousands of smaller weapons erupted from the Devastator's hull, filling space with deadly energy beams. But the Defiance was ready. Its experimental shields flickered and bent, redirecting the alien fire harmlessly into space. "Human shield technology," Engineer Davis called out with grim satisfaction. "Adaptive frequency modulation. They can't penetrate what they can't understand." The Defiant struck back with surgical precision. Its quantum torpedoes punched through the Devastator's weakened rear shields, exploding deep within the alien ship's hull. Critical systems began failing as the massive vessel shuddered under the unexpected assault. "Impossible," Admiral Vex whispered. "Their weapons are cutting through our armor like it's paper. How can such a small ship carry such powerful weapons?" What the alien commander didn't understand was that humans had learned to think differently about space combat. While the aliens built bigger and bigger ships with thicker and thicker armor, humanity had focused on speed, precision, and efficiency. Every system on the Defiance was designed to outperform equipment 10 times its size. The battle raged across the solar system as the two ships engaged in a deadly dance. The Devastator's escort ships tried to help, but they were even less equipped to deal with the Defiance's impossible maneuvers. One by one, they fell to the human ship's precise attacks. "Sir," Communications Officer Bell reported, "we're receiving panicked transmissions from the alien fleet. They're calling for reinforcements." Captain Reed smiled coldly. "Let them call. By the time help arrives, this will be over." The Defiance vanished again, using its jump drive to appear directly above the Devastator. This time, Captain Reed targeted the alien ship's main reactor. The quantum torpedoes struck home, causing a chain reaction that rippled through the massive vessel. On the Devastator's bridge, sparks flew from overloaded consoles. The lights flickered as power systems failed throughout the ship. Admiral Vex clutched his command throne as the deck shook beneath his feet. "Damage report," he roared. "Main reactor at 60%, Captain Scar replied, his voice shaking. "Weapons systems failing. Life support compromised on decks 40 through 60. Admiral, we're losing this fight. Losing? Admiral Vex couldn't believe it. We are the Reptilian Alliance. We have conquered 100 worlds. We cannot be defeated by one human ship. But even as he spoke, the defiance struck again. This time, the human ship's weapons found the Devastator's main weapon control center. The alien dreadnought's massive plasma cannons fell silent. Throughout the solar system, the human defense fleet watched in amazement as their single ship systematically dismantled the pride of the Galactic Council. Admiral Hart opened a communication channel to the Defiance. "Captain Reed, this is incredible. How are you doing this?" Captain Reed's voice was calm and professional. "We studied their tactics, Admiral. They rely on brute force and overwhelming firepower. They've never learned to adapt, to think creatively. They're fighting yesterday's war." The Defiance positioned itself for the final strike. The once mighty Devastator drifted helplessly in space, its systems crippled, its crew demoralized. "This ends now," Captain Reed declared. The message sent victory and its consequences. The final strike came without warning. The Defiance appeared directly in front of the Devastator's bridge, its sleek hull gleaming in the starlight. For a moment, the two ships hung motionless in space, predator facing prey. Admiral Vex stared through his cracked view screen at the human vessel that had destroyed his mighty fleet. The small ship looked impossibly fragile compared to his massive dreadnought, yet it had proven more deadly than anything the galaxy had ever seen. "Admiral," Captain Scar whispered, "they're targeting our bridge." Admiral Vex closed his yellow. His proud career, his undefeated record, his reputation as the galaxy's finest military commander, all of it ending at the hands of a species he had dismissed as primitive savages. "Open a channel," he said quietly. Captain Reed's face appeared on the main screen. The human looked calm, professional, almost respectful. This confused Admiral Vex more than anything else. Where was the savage gloating he expected from a barbarian species? "Admiral Vex," Captain Reed said simply, "you have lost. Your ship is crippled, your escorts destroyed. I could finish you now, but that's not why we're here." "Then why?" Admiral Vex asked, his pride broken but his curiosity remaining. "To send a message," Captain Reed replied. "Not just to you, but to the entire Galactic Council. Humanity will not be pushed around. We will not bow to threats. We will not accept slavery." Captain Reed's expression grew harder. "But we're not monsters. Surrender now, and I'll allow your crew to evacuate to life pods. You can return to your council and tell them what happened here." Admiral Vex looked around his ruined bridge. His officers stared at him with desperate hope in their eyes. These were good soldiers who didn't deserve to die for his arrogance. I surrender," he said, the words tasting like poison in his mouth. Within hours, the rescue began. Human ships arrived to collect the alien survivors, treating their former enemies with surprising kindness. Medical teams worked alongside alien doctors to save the wounded. Engineers helped repair damaged life pods. Admiral Vex found himself aboard a human medical ship, his injuries being treated by a young human doctor named Mills. The alien commander stared at the ceiling, trying to understand what had happened. "Your people," he said to Dr. Mills. "You fight like demons, but treat prisoners like honored guests." "I don't understand." Dr. Mills continued working on the alien's wounds. "We fight when we have to, Admiral, but we don't enjoy killing. We'd rather have friends than enemies." "Friends?" Admiral Vex laughed bitterly. "After what I tried to do to your world, you were following orders," Dr. Mills replied. "Just like Captain Reed was following his. The war is over now." Back on the Defiance, Captain Reed stood in his ready room, composing his report to Earth. The battle had lasted only 3 hours, but it would change the galaxy forever. Communications Officer Bell entered with a priority message. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. Every major species wants to talk." Captain Reed nodded. "What about the Galactic Council?" They're requesting an immediate ceasefire, sir. They want to negotiate." Captain Reed smiled slightly. "I bet they do." The news spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. On 100 worlds, alien leaders gathered in emergency sessions, trying to understand how their most powerful warship had been defeated by a single, human vessel. The insectoid hive queen clicked her mandibles nervously as she studied the battle recordings. This changes everything. If the humans can do this with one ship, what can they do with 100? The blue-skinned Aquarian commander Tide swam frantically in her tank. We underestimated them completely. Their technology is decades ahead of ours. On the reptilian homeworld, the High Command met in secret session. General Rage, Admiral Vex's superior, slammed his clawed fist on the table. "One ship," he roared. "One human ship destroyed our finest fleet. How is this possible?" The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Scale, the Reptilian Alliance's chief scientist, had been studying the battle data for hours. "Sir," he said quietly, "I don't think they were trying to show off their most advanced technology. I think they were holding back." The room fell silent. General Rage stared at the scientist. "What do you mean?" "The human ship used at least 6 different technologies we've never seen before, but their power signatures suggest they have capabilities they didn't even use. Sir, I think they could have destroyed the Devastator in minutes if they'd wanted to." The implications hit the alien leaders like a physical blow. The humans hadn't just won. They had won while being merciful. The galaxy would never be the same. A new order, the peace that changed everything. 3 months after the Battle of Earth, the Galactic Council chambers looked very different. The floating pods that once held arrogant alien leaders now contained nervous diplomats. At the center of the Great Hall, a new section had been built, larger, more prominent, and bearing the blue and white flag of Earth. Ambassador Kane sat in the human delegation's place of honor, no longer the lone voice crying in the wilderness. Beside him sat Captain Reed, still wearing his military uniform but now bearing the new title of Human Military Advisor to the Council. Admiral Vex stood at the central podium, but not as a conqueror this time. His scaled skin looked dull, his proud bearing broken. He was there to deliver his official report on the Battle of Earth, a report that would reshape galactic politics forever. "The human warship Defiance," Admiral Vex began, his voice barely above a whisper, "demonstrated technological capabilities beyond our current understanding. Their jump drive technology allows instantaneous movement across vast distances. Their shield systems adapt to any weapon frequency. Their targeting computers can strike with surgical precision while moving at impossible speeds." The alien representatives listened in stunned silence. Many had dismissed the initial reports as exaggeration or propaganda. Hearing it from Admiral Vex himself made it undeniably real. Furthermore, the reptilian admiral continued, analysis of the battle suggests the humans were restraining themselves. They could have destroyed the Devastator in minutes rather than hours. They chose to disable rather than destroy, to capture rather than kill. Commander Tide spoke from her water-filled pod, her blue skin pale with fear. "Are you saying they were toying with us?" "No," Admiral Vex replied. "I believe they were making a point. They wanted to show us their strength, but also their mercy. They could have turned this into a massacre. Instead, they saved every life they could." The Hive Queen's mandibles clicked nervously. "What do the humans want from us now?" Ambassador Kane rose from his seat. The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to him. 3 months ago, these same aliens had laughed at his pleas for peace. Now they hung on his every word. "Earth wants what we've always wanted," Kane said calmly. "The right to exist freely in this galaxy. The right to explore, to settle new worlds, to trade with whoever will have us. We don't want to rule anyone. We just want to be left alone to live our lives." General Rage of the Reptilian Alliance leaned forward in his pod. "And if we refuse? If we unite all our fleets against you?" Captain Reed stood up beside Ambassador Kane. His calm expression never changed, but something in his eyes made the alien general shrink back. "General," Captain Reed said quietly, "the Defiance was our oldest ship. We built it 5 years ago as a prototype, Since then, we've constructed 200 more vessels using improved designs. We've also developed new technologies that make the Defiance look primitive by comparison. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Captain Reed waited for silence before continuing. But we don't want war. War is wasteful, destructive, pointless. We'd rather have you as trading partners than enemies. Dr. Scale, the reptilian scientist, spoke up from the back of the chamber. Captain Reed, your technology. How far ahead of us are you, really? Captain Reed smiled slightly. Dr. Scale, in the time it took your people to build the Devastator, we invented 3 new forms of faster-than-light travel, created self-repairing armor, and developed weapons that can strike targets in different dimensions. We're not just ahead of you. We're playing a completely different game. The weight of his words settled over the chamber like a heavy blanket. For centuries, these alien species had seen themselves as the galaxy's dominant powers. Now they realized they were children playing with toys while the humans had moved on to tools they couldn't even imagine. Ambassador Kane stepped forward again. But here's what you need to understand. We're offering you a chance to join us in that game. Share knowledge, trade technology, work together instead of fighting. The galaxy is big enough for all of us. The Hive Queen was the first to speak. What are your terms? Simple, Kane replied. Recognize Earth's right to exist. Stop trying to limit our expansion. Open trade relations. Treat humans as equals, not as servants or threats. One by one, the alien representatives began to nod. They had no choice, really. The humans had demonstrated that they could destroy any opposition, but they were offering partnership instead. Admiral Vex looked up from his notes. The Reptilian Alliance accepts these terms. The Aquarian Federation agrees, Commander Tide added quickly. Within an hour, every major species in the galaxy had signed the new treaty. Earth was no longer an outsider begging for acceptance. Humanity had become the galaxy's newest superpower. As the session ended, Captain Reed walked with Ambassador Kane toward the exit. Think it will hold? Kane asked. Captain Reed looked back at the alien delegates, already forming new alliances and trade agreements. It will hold, he said confidently. They're not stupid. They know we could have chosen conquest instead of cooperation. That makes all the difference. Outside the great windows of the station, human ships moved alongside alien vessels for the first time in history. The age of isolation was over. The age of human expansion had begun, and somewhere in the depths of space, more human ships continued their journey to the stars, carrying with them the promise of a galaxy where strength served peace, not war. The end.